Hello and welcome everybody, it's Matt from Carver Odysseys. Got a game of Grand Archive here today. Got a buddy Hammer from over the Jake and Joel Magic's Discord. Met him in League and we started talking about Grand Archive, wanted to give it a shot. I'm going to be playing a Lorraine deck, with Lorraine Wind. And then Hammer, what you got?
Yeah, I'm doing the other from the precons, the Rye, specifically Fire Rye. So going for a stormy version. So we played these precons before, unupgraded, so this is our second crack at it now, making a few changes to the deck. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, basically we were like, well, I opened the box and I think you had bought some Kickstarter product?
Yeah.
What was included? Was that like an actual booster box or was there more than one booster box?
So I got a full booster box case, and I got a couple of individual booster boxes just to open. I kept a couple of the cases sealed just in case, it becomes a MetaZoo moment kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then I bought a case of the beta and opened that as well because I like the game. Seems pretty cool. I like the kind of market atmosphere around it. There is genuine rarity around the foils. They're doing the super rare thing, but it's not overdone. So I think they have a good approach to collectability and the gameplay. This memory mechanic, I've spoken about it before. I just thought it was really clever, and enjoy how that goes.
Yeah, I think I pulled a total of like 5 or 6 foils in my entire box. So I've opened one box, and I've opened technically 4 starter decks, but technically 3.
Mm-hmm.
I did that on the channel, so people are aware of that. I think I have the box opening on the channel as well. So basically what we did was just upgrade the stuff with cards that we had and see how the decks play when they're upgraded. I've changed about half the deck. I'd opened some pretty good cards for the deck that seemed good. I didn't really enjoy the main starter deck for Lorraine. They have a lot of Crux cards where it makes me feel like you have to like rush to Crux, which is like level 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't. I never felt good doing that. I don't know, because you have to waste a lot of your turn doing leveling up. And I felt like, I don't know, and the wind mechanic seemed good, or the wind cards seemed good in the deck. So there are still some Crux cards in here because they're good, obviously.
They're your finishers.
Yeah, but some of them are bad. So I was just like, let's remove the bad stuff, put in wind, and then also the material deck. I think I replaced 4 items, and I'm also using the other version of Lorraine level 3. So if we ever get to her level 3, this version's way better than the other level 3 from the starter deck, in my opinion. But just as a clarification, Hammer and I have only played like 4 total games of this game. So we have a general idea of what the game is and how to play, and we've played tons of other TCGs, so experienced in that aspect. So we may not get everything right. Like the ruling on a card, there's a card called Zephyr and it has suppress. It basically exiles a card and then brings it back from banishment, but it doesn't explain like, does the card return in its normal state? Like when you flicker a magic card, it doesn't remember. Phase remembers, but if you flicker a card, it doesn't remember. So like we were trying to figure out, like if you suppress something, does it come back as it was, or does it come back as like a new copy of itself? So I don't know. We don't know the answer. So we're just treating it as it remembers what it was. So it'll just come back in. Like if a card has 3 durability on it and you flicker it and it comes back, it'll just have 3 durability on it. If it has 1, it has 1.
If it was tapped, because the tapping and untap is very similar to Magic. So that was the one thing that I had to question about, is like, if you flicker my thing, does it come back to me awake now and I get to use it, or is this just a dead attack that's also, it stays asleep? So yeah, I think that's going to be the main thing, is like whatever direction we have it turned, when we flicker it, we're going to keep it that way, which is the opposite of how they do it in Magic. I don't know that that's necessarily a good assumption, but who knows? We'll get a clarification, I guess.
Yeah, there is an 80-page comprehensive rules document that I tried searching banishment. The only thing I think of is like, if I search specifically for banish. Well, for the sake of the video, we're just going to go with that ruling. I'm not going to try to search through a document while we record. But yeah, so we did a die roll. Hammer won, so you're going to go first, I imagine?
Yep.
I don't draw yet, right?
No, so it's very kind of... I guess, very straightforward to begin the game. So you don't even have a spirit in play, so I don't even have an attack phase. I get an abridged first turn, but I get to put my spirit in play first, so my Spirit of Fire comes in, and that's what allows you to draw your cards. So I'll draw 7. And normally you would go to your draw phase, so you're going to get to play your spirit out, draw 7, and then you draw additionally. You actually take your draw phase on your turn. I don't get to do that. But now I can play my first turn as normal. It's just that you have nothing for me to attack at the moment, so I can't really do damage to you. But I will go ahead and put these 3 into memory. And that's how you cost, instead of pitching it into your graveyard, you pitch into memory, which is basically cards that you'll get back next turn. So rather than throwing them away and having them have to cycle through, you get to play a little bit with this resource. And there's a little bit more that goes on with memory we'll talk about later. But yeah, so I'm paying that 3 to play a Dungeon Guide. It's the only creature in the deck still is this. And it says on enter, I may banish 2 cards at random from my memory, and if I do, I get to level up my hero. So, which ones do you want me to banish? 1, 2, 3.
We'll do 2 and 3.
2 and 3. All right. So I banished Arcane Disposition, which is a draw spell, and Arcane Blast, one of my big finishers. So that is 2 arcane cards, which synergizes with my level 3 Rye. So I do want arcane cards, but I don't necessarily want all my finishers in there. But because of that, I get to instantly upgrade my Rye for free. So now I have my named champion in, and he comes in with 2 Enlighten counters on him, so I'll put that on. Then I am going to just pass the turn.
Yeah, in a normal situation, you wouldn't be able to materialize a second time. That's basically what it's called. So this is your material deck off on the side. This technically should be 1 deck. But yeah, this is kind of like, think of like if your command zone had like 15 cards instead of just 1. It has your hero included in there as well. So this is technically my hero level 0. Like that's the element that I'm picking for the deck. As I should probably click on myself as I'm demonstrating. This is like this is the material deck. Kind of think of similar to Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess. I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh, but I know they have like a combination deck where they can summon fusion deck. I think that's what's called. Yeah. So on my turn, the first thing is wake up. I have nothing to wake up. Waking up is basically your untap step. Then there's the materialize phase, which is what I'm doing now. I can play anything from materialize. Can you technically, do you have to play your spirit on first one? Is there like a weird scenario where you would ever play anything else?
I have no idea. I think it's an interesting question, but my inclination is that you have to get on the board. Otherwise, you're kind of like stalling the game.
You can't attack me, get fucked.
Yeah, but you don't draw any cards. I don't know if you're like really doing anything.
Yeah, I think you probably really have. You probably have to play your spirit first, but it is
I would assume
kind of an interesting question. Is do you actually have to play? Let's see here. Starting the game, players initiate their first turn each by choosing level 0 card. Oh, so I think that's just part of starting the game. You initiate the first turn each by choosing a level 1, level 0 champion from their material deck and putting it into play. Level 0 champions will draw their opening hands on enter effect. All right. So I will draw 7. I actually don't even think... I think that happens before the game even starts. Yeah, players initiate their first turn. Yeah, okay. So you have no choice. You have to grab your champion from the material deck. Okay. I mean, it's nice to know, I guess. And like he was saying, the mana cost of cards... I don't really care. The mana cost of cards are here. And so if that was 3, I'd have to put 3 cards face down into this memory to be able to play that card. And there's no limit of how many cards you can play a turn. You can play as many as you want from your hand.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. But I couldn't, I don't know if I have a way. I'm fairly certain I don't. I can't get my Lorraine out yet. I'd have to wait until my next turn. And then I'd have to banish cards randomly from my memory as well to play things from this realm over here. From your material deck. An interesting thing. I do like the idea of the memory zone. Is there ways to mess with the memory zone of your opponent? You know?
I'm sure there's a line that they're gonna, that's definitely a area of game space development that they have to be thinking about, but I'm not aware of it. So, I mean, there is the assassin class that's relatively new to the game. That might, mess with your mind a little bit. I don't know, or maybe they're waiting for something like an illusionist class. I don't know.
What's
But
the
right now,
HPs of the dungeon lady?
she is a 1/3.
It also has been a little while since we've played.
Yep.
This
Yeah,
might not
she's
be
got
the
a
best
3
way to
buff.
like learn how to play, but this is a very casual way to watch some dudes play a game that they know nothing
Yeah.
about.
I will say that the precon, before I changed it, was probably a good bit more beginner friendly than the way I have it set up now. Just because it has some creatures that can teach you how to manage creatures and how, the tactics for applying them, particularly in this kind of deck. Um, by stripping all of them out except for dungeon guides, I'm obviously playing more of a spells matter kind of focus, which, is only, it's narrow, but it's effective, I hope.
I think I want to play. I want to play Windrider Vanguard. So
Okay.
she has Vigor for class bonus, and my class. Actually, would she? She wouldn't actually have the class bonus right now, would she? Because technically, my hero at the moment is a champion spirit.
Yeah, you don't have a
At
warrior
the
in
moment,
play.
she's just a vanilla 2/3, but otherwise would have Vigor, which means that this unit wakes up at the beginning of your end step. Apply this effect only if your champion class matches this card's class.
Very cool.
So it's decent. And then I could technically attack, but I don't 100% remember the. Do I target things or do I just attack?
You
Yeah, I
pick
think
what
I.
you attack. Yeah. So you could target my dungeon guide, and I could, just take it, or I could tap my dungeon guide and have it, do a mutual exchange. But you do have to tap if you want to deal damage on block. Um, Otherwise, the attack just goes at what you target. If you target my champion, I can't block with my dungeon guide because it doesn't have the keyword intercept. Intercept
Yeah.
is necessary to get in the way of other things.
And then it'll tap. And then this is one of the problems with playing so many TCGs. Alpha Clash is very similar to this game, except for like in combat, it's actually super similar. So it's like, can there isn't? Do they always attack? Like if I attack your dungeon geist, they'll obviously trade damage. But if you're tapped, do they still trade damage?
So if I'm tapped, I can't return damage now because I've already tapped out. So, like I was saying, if you attack my dungeon guide, I would have to tap it to deal 1 damage to your creature. It's gonna bounce anyway. If you attacked my dungeon
Yeah.
guide, I wouldn't tap because then I would be able to swing at your champion. I mean, if you're trying to just get through for champion or with
Yeah, I would just
ally
attack
damage,
you.
chipping in on my Rye is probably the better bet, to be honest.
Yeah.
Or if you want to keep it up for some reason, I don't know. If it doesn't have intercept, I always think you got to
I'm
swing.
just gonna attack for 3, 2 Rye.
3, you said? I thought it was a
I'm sorry, 2.
2/3.
It's a 2/3.
Gotcha. All right, 2 damage.
And then after that, yeah, I'll end. I'll go to end step. She won't
All
untap
right.
because she doesn't match here at the moment.
Okay, so I have nothing to wake up. Now in my material phase, I can't upgrade Rye because it would cost 2 to take him to level 2. Could have thought about
Maybe
not
trying to
using
get
as
more
much
into memory.
Yeah, I used more memory. Now now it's slowing me down a little bit. So things to think about. So
Another strange thing is the material deck is technically hidden information. Like your opponent doesn't actually know what's in your material deck, to my knowledge.
mhm.
Kind of like
So
it's like a free sideboard. You can just have like put in stuff whenever you want. It's pretty cool. Well, not whenever, but during material phase.
So I'll just go ahead and play the Grand Crusader Ring. So this is one of the regalia I added. Effectively, it's exactly the same card as the Air Bauble, but it's just this one's universal. So it's the ultra rare, but I banish it to draw a card, basically. So then I recollect and then draw.
Put in two uncommons and a rare and a common. Oh wait, hold on. And a common. And an uncommon and a rare.
This. All right. Those are getting. Oh wow.
And from what I understand, well, I shouldn't say from what I understand. From what we know, Rye is a storm deck. If you're familiar with Magic the Gathering, it's just very storm-like. So you want to play a bunch of spells and increase the level of Rye, and then finish off. There's a few finisher spells that he can cast that do a ton of damage based off the hero's level.
So I'm going to go ahead and pay 3 into memory again. I'm going to cast another Dungeon Guide. And I am going to go ahead and do the on-enter effect. Please, 1, 2, 3. I have to choose 2.
3.
2. I'm sorry? I heard 3.
1 and 3.
1 and 3. Gotcha. Sorry. All right. So I've now got 3 arcane cards. Careful Study going away. Didn't want to see that. And Arcane Disposition. Not the best. However, I do get to level up Rye. So now he gains a new lineage ability. So whenever I cast my first mage action per turn, I gain an enlighten counter. So that's Rye's main mechanic, is he builds up his enlightenment and tries to use that for the purpose of drawing cards and doing other things. So I will go to here in the main time. I'm just going to attack you directly with both of my dungeon guides.
How much is that?
2 damages.
Okie dokie.
And that's it. 1 in memory and 1 in hand.
Alright. Wake up. Grab a brush, put on a little makeup. Now I'm gonna definitely want to level up my hero to get Lorraine out there to get that class bonus situation. So I'll level up, and still randomized, right? Paying
Yeah,
for cards
it's always
from memory
random.
is always random. All right, so go ahead and
Yeah.
pick 1, 2, 3.
Let's do 2.
This is Reclaim. This has floating memory.
Yep. So that goes into banishment.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, no. So graveyard is you still banish things from your graveyard. Banish is exile. Graveyard is graveyard.
Oh, then I have a Lorraine trigger as well. Materialize a weapon card with memory cost 0 from your material deck.
There you go. Ornate Greatsword, I assume.
I've actually got a few different swords here. I do have an Ornate Greatsword, and I have a Sword of Seeking, which has True Sight, which allows you to target units with stealth. But it also has 2 toughness as well.
These are 0 cost?
Yeah, these are both 0 cost.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I basically just looked through and I'm like, how many swords do I have with 0 cost? And there's,
Give me my swords.
I just got 2. I got a bunch of 1 cost though. I got like 4 weapons. I feel like the Seer Sword's busted. On attack, glimpse 2. and has 3 durability for 1 cost. This seems really good. I don't know. But what I'm gonna use on enter target ally control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Yeah, we'll use the ornamental greatsword. Why not? And then I collect my cards from the old memory zone, and then I draw a card. Alright, so now I'll have my vigor. This ally here will get +1 until end of turn. So she's a 3/3 until end of turn, which is wonderful. Another cool thing about this game is as you level up your hero, your HP also continues to go up.
Yes.
Which is pretty interesting. You start at 15, and then it goes... Each hero is different. Are they heroes? Champions. Each champion is different. They have different totals of HP. Rye's a little squishier because he's like the mage.
Yep.
Lorraine's an aggro type character, kind of not necessarily mono red beats, but it's more like rampy. I don't even say ramp. Mono green stomp.
Yeah, it's like a green white kind of
green
vibe.
aggro. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Celestia.
Maybe
kinda.
green red Gruul aggro.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of hard not to be aggro when everything has haste.
Sure.
I think what I need to do here. Alright, so I have 1 durability on the sword. If I were to attack with it, it would go away, but I get to attack with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very interesting. That's a cool little thing. And that's another thing. There is no real like combat phase. Like you can kind of just. I mean, I guess combat phase is.
Yeah, you make individual attacks anytime during the
Yeah.
main phase.
You kind of flop between the main phase and combat phase. I think you can keep going. You can like have multiple combats, right?
Yeah, and it's nice too because you can do like an attack to start baiting something out or feeling someone out, see if they take the bait or do something that you want them to do, and then maybe play a spell and then play another ally out, and that one then attacks after. So yeah, it allows for a more kind of cat and mouse sort of game, I think.
Very interesting. All right, let's go to combat then. Let's swing 3 at Rye.
Directly at Rye, sure.
Yep.
So I'm at 5 damage.
I have an equipment, but I still need a card that grants me an attack, right?
You can either attack with an attack card or you can attack with your equipment. If you attack with your equipment, it takes damage, right? It takes durability shock or whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you needed to attack, say, a card. It's like, what happens if like she still taps, right?
Yes, you would tap her and she can use the weapon to attack, or you can attack with an attack card out of hand.
All right,
Either way, you tap her, yeah.
I think what I'll do... I think I'll put 2 down, and I'll play a Rallied Advance.
Okay.
So, class bonus on attack, wake up target ally you control, and then it's an attack for 1 with Lorraine. So I'll hit Rye for 1, and then I'll wake up my Wind Rider Vanguard.
Sure.
Then I'll attack for 3 again.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
3 or 2? It's 2, right?
It's 3 because the sword gives it +1 till end of turn.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, so it was 5, and then 6, and now another 3, so I'm going to 9. Oosh.
Like that.
Ow. I don't like it.
And then what I'll do is... Put 2 in memory for a Banner Knight. So he's a 1/3, and then once my hero reaches level 2 or higher, other allies and weapons I control get +1.
Oh, wow.
Spent.
Okay.
Over to you.
All right, so we'll wake up my guides. I'm going to my recollection phase. I'm in the same position I was last turn, where I really got to play something for 0. I think I will. I need to build that up, so this might just be fine. Alright, I'll play Mana Limiter. Might not be ideal right now, but we'll see how it goes. So what it does is it means I cannot pay my Enlighten counters for their normal ability. Their normal ability is you remove 3 Enlighten counters and you draw a card. With Mana Limiter in play, I can't do that. However, I can banish it to draw a card, but I can only do that if I have more than 6 or more Enlighten counters on my hero. So right now I'm in the position where I'm trying to build Enlighten counters onto Rai. So I will recollect the card, and then I will draw for turn. Okay. I'll put 1 into memory and play Idle Thoughts. That's a mage skill, so I'll put an Enlighten counter on Rai. Idle Thoughts lets me look at the top 4 cards in my deck, then put them back in any order. It's also usable for floating memory. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a look at these. Oh, wow. Alright. Guess that's the best I can do for now. I will go ahead and tap this, or banish it rather, to draw a card. I have to do both, huh? Oof. Yeah. I will go ahead and play Harness Mana, which just allows me to put any number of cards into memory, but it also pays for floating memory, and it's a 0 cost. So I'm just going to put the other card into memory anyway. And I am empty-handed now. I will get in... Oof, that Banner Knight's going to be a real problem.
The 1/3.
Yeah. That's a real problem. I did not draw the defensive cards I needed. But let's go ahead and attack both of these at Lorraine.
4.
And that's going to be it for me. See if I survive.
Alright, on tap. Take AF. Now, because you've leveled up, you're still a fire hero, right? Like this is like you're always everything from the top bottom. I'm guessing is how it works. It's like fire resonance ball, for instance. I'm asking if you're even though you've leveled up your character, your champion, is he still considered a fire hero?
Yes, he's fire. I don't have arcane until I get to level 3, but I always have fire.
Always fire.
It's underneath, yeah. So yeah, the fire bauble, because I'm playing fire, is just, great card.
I'm gonna go fire resonance bauble as my materialization. And then I'll collect, draw for turn. I'll draw for bauble. Alright, nice 6-card hand. I like that. I'll play an Honorable Vanguard. So it is a 1/2 with floating memory.
Nice. I'm just getting beat down.
Then I'll put 2 more down into the into memory for a Phalanx Captain. So it normally costs 5, but this has a class bonus that it costs 1 less to activate for each human ally you control. And these are all human allies. So it gets a discount of 3, so it only costs 2. And then it also has other human allies you control get +1 as long as they are attacking. Other human allies. So my hero won't get it, but my allies will. So I will enter the attacker's phase. So it's going to be 2, and then 3 is 5, 6, 7. This is only other, so it's 8. So 8 total attacking damage there.
I'm at 9, so that takes me to 17.
Yeah, what does it put you at total?
I'm at 17 damage. I have 5 HP left.
Damn, because you're higher. Yeah, you're higher. I could attack with my Elemental Greatsword, but I don't know that I need to. Dude, I don't get the bonus from the Banner Knight until I level up to 2.
I thought you were level 1 to 2. I was like, oof, he's about to level 2 and just wail on me.
I wanted to get the Phalanx Captain out there because it's pretty good. Yeah, we'll do 1 more damage. I'll attack with Lorraine.
The double dungeon guide, probably a little too greedy.
Done. I forgot to actually last time to wake up Windrider Vanguard.
Yeah.
Then I'll pass the turn.
What does that do for you, though? I guess if
I'm not entirely sure.
Well, if it gets attacked directly for whatever reason, it could retaliate.
Yeah, if you were a type of like if you were more like if you had more creatures that actually attack.
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah. I'm just doing it because should be doing it.
So let's go to wake ups, and then I am going to banish these 2, and these are both the same card, so you're gonna get to see what it is anyway. Power Overwhelming. So I have a Power Overwhelming in hand. That will level up Rye to level 3. So right now, Rye is 3 on his face, and then he also gets 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's technically level 7 right now. Put that up there. I've only got 1 card in hand. It is a Power Overwhelming. So the top deck is important.
I remember that one's good, but I don't remember what it does.
It is part of the combo. It allows you to rip Unlight Encounters off of him to temporarily increase his level, which allows you to get the
you need something good off the top, or else you basically die.
I do, and I don't think it matters anyway. And this isn't it. I mean, I knew what I had in hand, and with the minute, yeah, I'm just done. GG.